Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme. Joey Barton has been issued with a notice of complaint from the SFA. Jack Ross has been unveiled as the new manager of St Mirren. And Chris Martin is hoping he can retain his place in the Scotland team ahead of that match against Lithuania on Saturday. That's just a few of the talking points with Alan Ruff alongside me. I'm delighted to say our boot-room guest is none other than Ayr United captain Nicky Devlin. Lots to talk about with Ayr United, Nicky personally, and of course his gaffer as well, Ruffy. We know him very well indeed.
Yeah, they had a good start to the season, and I'm sure they'll want to survive in that league. I think it's good competition for them, good teams in there. Hibs, Dundee United, and I'm sure that young players will be enjoying every minute of it. And it's a lovely surface to play on down there. And I think if they go on a wee run, they could climb up that table and maybe threaten a few of the big ones.
Yeah, your gaffer Ian McCall, Nicky, certainly thinks it's a division with so many good teams that it'll be tough for you guys. What's the overall ambition among the players?
I think definitely kind of your first year up, you've got to just kind of look to stabilise and kind of stay in the division. But you know, we've seen already we were sitting bottom of the league and we won 2 games and it took us a point outside the playoffs to go up. So it's going to be tight, we know that, but you know, we're really looking forward to it, and we've started the season. We've started all right. You know, we could do better, but you know, I mean, we're looking forward to the rest of the season now.
Yeah. What about the standard in that division?
Compared to probably the year before, I would say, I mean, you make a mistake in this division and you're getting punished. Whereas last year you maybe get away with it. We made, just for talking's sake, last week against Falkirk, we made 2 mistakes in the game and lost the game 2-0. A game I thought we dominated, and it just shows you can't afford to make mistakes anymore at this level.
Yeah, although with the experience that your manager has at his disposal, you managed to take a couple of good scalps. Hamilton Accies right at the start, Barton.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Hibs game, I think we were probably, you know, I mean, we were rightfully kind of second best for most of it. You know, I mean, they're going to kind of dominate the game, but they got a man sent off, and you know, I mean, we took advantage. And to be fair, just because you get a man sent off doesn't mean the other team come and win the game. Sometimes you know it's harder to play against 10 men. But you know, I mean, when the guy gets sent off, we dominated from then on, and you know, we probably deserved the 3 points, especially in the last half an hour display we played.
Yeah, tell me about your gaffer. What's he like to work for? Because I think myself, I'm sure you share. Well, we'll get your view on it, Ruffy. I think he's one of those managers that may well get another opportunity at a higher level again. Yeah,
definitely. He's a manager. I'm sure probably a lot of people maybe don't like his style or the way he is, but I mean, one thing he's got is he gets the job done. And you know, I mean, probably every club he's been at, he's been successful in some way or another. You know what I mean? Took us from nearly relegation one season in League One to promotion the next year, and as I said, we've started the season well. So it's one of them. He's been brilliant with me since since he's came to the club. So I mean, I can't say anything really bad about him.
Yeah, the only downside is, of course, talks you through how great a player he was in his playing days, which the boys must love every day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know he's top 3 goals now that he's ever scored, and she was at 4 Rangers against Hibs. I'm sure top corner, left foot, curled it in. Likes to tell you about it all the time and how much he would kind of take the mickey at me if he was playing against me. But listen, it's all good. I don't really mind. What he's got to say in terms of that. But no, he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant for the club as well. As I said, he took us from relegation one year to promotion the next. So things are kind of looking up for Ayr United, and now well he's in charge.
Yeah, absolutely. Good player in his day, Ruffy. Good manager. Things didn't go well. I think the defining moment was Dundee United. Now he's got a chance, and I think he's reinventing himself.
Yeah, I think it was unfortunate that Ian was out of the game for so long. You know, there was a lot of managers at the same time were looking for a position, and Ian had to bide his time. And I think he's picked the right club, having had a year down at Ayr United. It's a well-run club, and as I've already said, I loved the stadium. I loved the surface. Obviously, they were talking about moving to another stadium. certainly know Ian will go in there, you know, and with all the experience he's got, and it'll rub off on all the young players if they certainly listen to what he's got to say.
Yeah, tell me about your own situation, Nicky. I mean, you've had a taste of Motherwell. Was it something that maybe came too soon for you? I mean, you were dogged by injuries there as well.
Probably, I would maybe say it did come too soon. As I said, when I was at Barton, I was 16, 17, and I was playing on a Saturday every week, and we were in League One at the time. Moved to Motherwell, got injured straight away, was out for 7-8 months with my knee. But you know what I mean, when I came back, I was probably just a wee bit too impatient. I wanted to play on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, just like kind of all professional footballers do. And I was just playing with the under 20s. So you know what I mean, at the time, I thought going out on loan was probably the best thing for me. But maybe in hindsight, I should have maybe tried to fight your way into the Motherwell's first team. But it was hard at the time. Tom Hateley was playing week in, week out, doing well. So, you know, I'm happy. I know I went there and learned a lot. The good coaches there, Kenny Black, Gordon Young, Stuart McCall even. I learned a lot in my time there. So I wouldn't change it. I would still jump at the chance to do everything again when I was leaving Dumbarton to go to Motherwell. So I can't say anything wrong. Well, ain't bad about Motherwell. They were really good for me, and they got me back through my injury as well. So no, it's something. You know, I mean, everybody wants to be full time, but you know, I mean, I'm enjoying where I am just now. So kind of no rush to go anywhere else.
Yeah, but as a professional footballer, these are great platforms to show your talents. Championship, people will have a look, and undoubtedly, you've got ambitions.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great, as you said there, for young boys especially, it's a great platform. It's a great league this year. A lot of big clubs that probably, I mean, shouldn't be in this division, but I mean, circumstances have dictated that they are, and it's great to kind of go out and prove yourself against these players. And some of the stadiums you go to, you like Easter Road and Tannadice, it's great for young boys to go and, I mean, almost learn their trade there. And it's one of them. Yeah, I want to play the top level I can, but hopefully that's with Ayr United. If not, then if you need to kind of move on to further your career, I'm sure most people kind of understand that, and that's just the way football is. But as I said, I'm really enjoying my time at Ayr United just now.
Yeah, and of the players in that division, is there someone that is giving you the biggest test? You've got to come on. We asked Ruffy this question. Ruffy, I think you managed to narrow it down to more than 30 or 40 players.
Well, so far this season, Stephen Dobie he was on a different level. You know what I mean? We went down there. I think it was the second game of the season. His first home game back at Queen of the South, and I think it was 4-1, 4-0. And he was just different class. I think it was probably a week later he signed a new contract that was probably extended by a year. So I think we helped get him a new deal. But no, he was different class in the game, and just maybe probably wonder why after the game he's back at Queen of the South, because he could still do, you know what I mean, a job for. I think he could do a job for anyone in the SPL, maybe out with Celtic. He could do a job for anybody in that division. Yeah,
again, you know, there's never a week goes by without us mentioning him on the Saturday show, Ruffy.
Yeah, and even we're sitting on the Saturday show, and if there's a Queen of the South goal, it's 9 times out of 10 it's him that scored it, you know, and he seems to be that kind of player. And we've just spoken about it there, it was a surprise to everybody. No disrespect to Queen of the South, but it was a bit of an eye-opener when he came up and he went there. You would have thought that everybody else would have known that he was available, you know, at a higher level. And but maybe he's went there because he's a local lad and he's been there before and he likes the setup and he just wants to enjoy his football now.
Yep. Just before we go to the break, you mentioned Falkirk. You've got them again, Iron Brew Cup at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Friday night game at Somerset, so kind of under the floodlights. It will always be a good atmosphere. In my time at Ayr United, our best performances have definitely came kind of at Somerset night-time games, so we'll need another good performance. We know that Falkirk are a good side, and I mean second best team in this division last year. So, but again, it's one we're looking forward to. It's why we wanted promotion in that last year, to play against teams like Falkirk week in, week out. So no, it's one we're looking forward to. And I mean, hopefully we can get through to the next round.
Yeah, well, listen, coming up in the next part of the programme, we'll talk more to Nicky Devlin, the Ayr United captain. We only have about 3.5 pages of information on him, Ruffy, because his dad has been texting me non-stop, giving me the whole background to him. I feel as if I know what the primary school years were, the secondary school as well.
Well, we know dads are dads. You know, if you can get a good one and he's right behind you, I'm sure you listen to everything I say, and very supportive, most dads.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can tell you Nicky's dad is as well. Well, it's definitely, it's got around everybody that Nicky's on the show. When Ruffy was in the bakers today, I think, or the butchers, somebody mentioned, I even know who's on your show, and Ruffy didn't have a clue. We'll speak more to Nicky Devlin. We'll also talk Scotland coming up after this break. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's football show. Alan Ruff is alongside me. Peter Martin, our boot-room guest, is the Ayr United captain, Nicky Devlin. I did have a pause there just as it came into my brain again there, thinking of your dad. I nearly called you Charlie. That would have been a real blow. Let's look at some of the news items, Ruffy. First of all, Joey Barton, he's been issued with a notice of complaint. This relates to 44 bets that they've managed to narrow it down to between the 1st of July and the 15th of September this year. Of course, this again goes against the ruling here in Scotland where you're not allowed to put a bet on any football match.
No, and it's something that I don't suppose Rangers will welcome. You know, obviously he's due to come back if he is coming back, but this is another thing against him. You know, and Rangers will have to seriously look at it. We have come down heavily with that kind of thing. I think Ian Black got about 6 games or something like that, and somebody somewhere else got a few games.
I think it was one of the United boys.
Off when
that's right.
when he was here, I think he got a couple of game ban as well.
Yeah.
So it's not something the Rangers will want to deal with. You know, it's another bit of bad publicity they don't want. They want to concentrate on the win they got last week there and build on that, and the papers will just pick up on it, and that's all it'll be about Rangers will be Joey Barton, and I think that's one of the reasons that I personally think that it won't go on for very much longer, because Rangers will want to concentrate on having a good surrounding about the place, and instead of picking up the paper every day and Joey Barton's name's on the back of the papers. Yeah,
it's a difficult one. I'm going to get Nicky's thoughts on it from a player's perspective on, you know, being enlightened of the fact that there's a zero tolerance approach. But this week of all weeks, Ruffy, I get the feeling that, you know, Joey Barton could just obviously come in quietly to the Rangers training centre or Ibrox, and a decision has to be made on it. I just wonder how there is a way back for him. I can't see it personally. I think somewhere along the line Rangers will be looking to cut the umbilical cord on this one.
And I think there will be a decision made. I think that's why there was the 3 weeks, you know, to go away and sort of have a look at the situation, what you can do, what you can't do. Obviously there's a contract there, and I'm sure when he walks through the door they'll know exactly which way they want to go down, and I would find it hard to believe if he come back into that dressing room. Obviously we were not privy to what was said in that dressing room, but it must have been pretty bad, you know, for everything that happened, particularly with the manager involved as well. So I think it's the manager's shout, but the manager will be conscious about the decision that's going to be made, because all the players being players, I'll look at the decision, you know, and they'll have to make a decision, you know, who's in charge of this dressing room? Is it the manager or Joey Barton?
Yeah, I don't think the crux of it would be the fallout with the players. I think I think the question here is how bad the fallout is between manager and player. That could be the straw that breaks the camel's back on this one.
Yeah, I think it's a club thing. You know, it's not just about the individual. It's about looking after the whole club and taking the club forward. And every time you hear the manager media, he wants to move forward, and he wants to move forward quietly rather than all the bad press that's going about. They want to concentrate on winning games and getting all the good press about how they're playing, not about a particular person.
Would his loss be a body blow to Rangers' top 4 ambitions?
No, I don't think so. I mean, because the managers always went on record that Halliday should be on the verge of a Scotland call-up, you know, and if he's playing that well, then why take him back, you know, because obviously Halliday is playing better than what he was.
Yeah, and of the charges, players, I think, are right across the country, Nicky, are well aware. I would imagine even at Ayr United there's been a meeting where every player was told exactly what the rules were.
Yeah, I think the PFA kind of try to come in once a year just to almost just remind you that, I mean, the rules are you can't bet at all on any football. So I'm sure Rangers would have had that talk at the start of this season. I mean, the only thing I can probably, to make any excuse for him, he's obviously came from England, where I think it is allowed to bet on football that you're not involved in, but up here the ruling is kind of nothing at all. So if that's the rules, you've got to stick by them.
Yeah, absolutely. OK, let's switch our attention quickly before we talk about Scotland, because we're going to talk about Scotland all throughout this week, Ruffy. Jack Ross, new manager of St Mirren, something we and many others suggested weeks ago he was the ideal candidate. What's your thoughts on it now?
Yeah, we had him on the show. I was very impressed with everything he was saying, obviously about Alloa, and he's one of these guys like Ian McCall you want to listen to, because they're totally focused on where they're going, and that's why he's obviously got the job. He's went to the interview. He's been very, very good. He said all the right things of where St Mirren need to be, and obviously the new owners liked what they were hearing, and that's why he's got the job. I think it'd be a good appointment.
Yeah. When you think about anything between 60 and 80 applicants for the job, Ruffy, he must have interviewed well, because realistically, I mean, I think he's got great credentials. I know Jack, great lad, good thinker, and having spoken to a number of the players at Alloa, they speak very highly of the way he coaches, but he's short in terms of management experience.
Yeah, he certainly is, but obviously he's coming into the game, he's full of enthusiasm, and the ideas that he's put forward to the new owner, he's ticked the boxes, and obviously that's why he's got it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who maybe came in for an interview and walked away from it. Maybe they didn't think the budget was big enough, maybe the targets weren't, the expectation, So, no, Jack he's on the up in the game, and he's got to start somewhere, and St Mirren's always been a great club to be at, and if you can get them winning games, then the support will come back and they'll go upwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got Hibs in the Cup this weekend. It's a strange one that he's going to stay with Alloa for the weekend game, in North Wales of all places against Bala. That can only be a weekend away to say cheerio to everybody, Ruffy, surely.
Yeah, you would like to think so, but it's good that he's showing, that to the club that he's leaving. He's saying to the owners, look, I'm not going to just dump you. I know how important this cup would be, a wee run, so I'm going to stay with you for that game, and all credit to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack Ross, one of those guys. Have you come across him, cut across his path? I would imagine Barton.
Yeah, Barton. He was the assistant manager under Alan Adamson and then Ian Murray. So no, he was brilliant. He's the best coach I've worked with. In terms of his training, was always kind of. Especially when you're part-time, you want your training. The boys finish work and they want to come in and just enjoy themselves, and he always made sure everybody kind of enjoyed the training, but he got kind of out at what he wanted, and I'm no surprised that he's kind of come into the management side of it, and it seems kind of seamless. He's went to Alloa, and as you said, a great start to the season with Alloa, and he's probably deserved his move, but hopefully it doesn't improve St Mirren too much just now. They're below us just now, but no, I'm delighted for him, because as you said as well, he's a great guy, but a real top coach.
Yeah, OK. High praise indeed. Thanks to Nicky for that. Let's switch our attentions to Scotland, because, of course, there's a team to be picked by Gordon Strachan. It's getting ever closer to that match against Lithuania on Saturday at Hampden. We hope it will be rocking. Apparently, after every goal, they're going to play bits and pieces, which, for the benefit of older people who are watching the show, is not the Dave Clark 5 song. This is by a rave group called Artemisia, Ruffy. I would know that you haven't got a catch chance of knowing what that's all about. But let me tell you this, when Scotland score, the whole place will need glow sticks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it one of these ones?
Oh,
I'm still gutted that the Bachelors aren't doing that. When I heard that, I was, wow.
Look at Nicky getting excited about Scotland scoring a goal.
That'll be good. It's the top tune, so
is it?
Aye, right, good tune.
Is it going to get the whole place right now? Is it
I think you'd like it.
Better than the Fratellis?
The place will be bouncing. Honestly. Discount the Bachelors, the Fratellis, the lot, believe me. Yeah. Artemisia, when it kicks off, it'll kick off, believe me. Let's hear from one of the guys who's hoping to play. Russell Martin, obviously surprised that he was in the last one, but Chris Martin, I beg your pardon, but he's hoping that he can get a starting place.
Yeah, I think I was perhaps a little bit fortunate to start the last game. Felt like I'd done okay. Obviously, managed to score and won the penalty for us somehow. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the manager thinks. He'll obviously probably have a look at the lads in training, see what's what. But hopefully I've done enough, but we'll have to wait and see.
Is he likely to get a shout at this game for you?
I'll let Gordon make that decision. I think Gordon will have seen Lithuania on numerous occasions. I think it depends on whether he thinks that the big centre forward is the guy to rumble them up, or whether it's somebody with a bit of movement. You know, but I definitely think will be a lot of success down the wings, balls coming in. He might be the guy it could be in the end of it.
Okay, just before we finish, Nicky, give us your prediction for the game at the weekend.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0 Scotland.
2-0, that's twice. We'll get to hear that song, Ruffy.
Yep, 2-0 for me as well.
Yep, okay. Listen, thanks to Nicky, thanks to his dad for all the information. That's another programme that we will do later on tonight. Hopefully Nicky goes on to a successful season with Ayr United and Ian McCall. From Nicky Devlin and, of course, from Alan Ruff and myself. Join us tomorrow. Gordon Smith will be our bookroom guest on tomorrow's programme from 7. But from all of us here in the Football Show, thanks for watching. Good night.